everyone, my name is Shauna in case you don't know, and welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be doing the 2 books 1 stone tag. This tag was created by Shawn the Book Maniac and I will link his YouTube channel down in the description below. There's 9 questions in this tag plus a 10th question to tag other people, so I will be going through all these questions. Prompt number 1 is the second last book you read. For me, this was an arc of Bufori, I Don't Want to Get Hurt So I'll Max Out My Defense Volume 1. It was a light novel. It centers around this girl and her friend who play a virtual reality game, and it's like a fantasy virtual reality game where there's fighting, there's monsters. It's a really fun world and there's really fun characters in that story. Prompt number 2 is the second book from the top of your TBR. My TBR is this bookshelf back here, so let me go grab the second book from the top. The second book from the top of my TBR is City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare. This is the 5th book in the Mortal Instruments series, and this is the one that I need to read next, so I will be reading it soon. I feel like everyone knows what the Mortal Instruments series is about. It is a complex world where there's shadow hunters who fight demons, there's vampires, there's fairies, warlocks. It is a fun series. Prompt number 3 is 2 2-star reads. So a 2-star read that I had was The Elite by Kiera Cass. This is the 2nd book in the Selection series. I did not like this one, but I didn't absolutely hate it, so I didn't give it 1 star, I gave it 2 stars. The Selection is a series about 35 girls who are entered into a competition to see who gets to marry the prince. The issue that I had with this book was that it was a bunch of like petty drama between like girls fighting over a guy, and I felt like there was cheating. Like, it wasn't explicitly cheating because nobody was explicitly dating, but it was like, if you have feelings for someone, why are you making out with someone else? And it was just a mess. Beautiful cover though, really beautiful cover. A mess of a book. And another 2-star read that I had was Cool for the Summer by Dahlia Adler. This is an arc of the book. This book just simply wasn't for me. It isn't necessarily a bad book. This book is a contemporary YA romance that's a love triangle that centers around this girl named Laura who has somewhat of a summer fling with a girl named Jasmine, and when she comes back to school, the guy that she's been crushing on for basically her entire time in high school is interested in her. It's just a love triangle that ensues. Not for me, but I'm sure other people will enjoy it. Number 4 is 2 great books by the same author. For the author that I'm choosing, I'm going with Kristen Simmons. Kristen Simmons wrote the Article 5 series. This is the 2nd book in the series called Breaking Point, and she also wrote the Vale Hall series, and this is the 1st book in the series called The Deceivers. Kristen Simmons is one of my all-time favorite authors. She writes phenomenal books. Her writing style is always amazing. She develops some of the best fictional characters of all time. I highly recommend checking out anything by Kristen Simmons if you haven't already. The Deceivers series is about a school for scam artists. It is very twisty and fun, and the Article 5 series is a dystopian series in which there is no Bill of Rights in the United States anymore. I really recommend both of these books. Recommend anything by Kristen Simmons. They're all phenomenal. Number 5 is 2 bails, or 2 books you wish you bailed on, or 2 books you hated. Let's go with 2 books I hated. I didn't plan this, but both of the books that I'm going to be talking about were books that I borrowed from my brother. Because sometimes he just hands me books and he's like, you need to read these books even if they aren't the greatest. He's not a reader, okay? And when I borrow his books, they're really hit or miss. So the first book that I hated was Ishmael by Daniel Quinn. I'm sure that Ishmael would have been good if I had read it in a group and we'd have been able to actively discuss it, but it's very much just like a conversation between 2 characters, and it's mainly just one character talking. It deals a lot with philosophy and anthropology, and it was just really confusing. I didn't really understand much of it, and I really did not like it. It was really boring. It took me forever to read it, even though it was a very, very short book. And another book I hated that I borrowed from my brother was Pudd'nhead Wilson by Mark Twain. There we go. Pudd'nhead Wilson, I believe, is about a murder, and I don't really remember much else about it. I remember there was like drama, there was like some courtroom stuff. I didn't really enjoy it. I'm not a huge fan of classics. I thought that Pudd'nhead Wilson was fairly easy to understand for a classic, but it wasn't that interesting. So yeah, I hated those 2 books. Number 6 is 2 favorite reads so far this year. One of my favorite reads this year was Rogue Untouched. I don't remember the author off the top of my head, but Rogue Untouched is about Rogue from the X-Men. I really enjoyed it. I recently finished reading it. Highly recommend it to all X-Men fans. And another favorite read for me this year was Tales of Beetle the Bard. I listened to the audiobook version of this, which had a bunch of the Harry Potter cast reading the book, and I really loved the audiobook of it. I love the normal book of it too, just it's like a different experience to listen to the audiobook and hear the cast of the movies reading it. It is phenomenal. I highly recommend this to all Harry Potter fans. And obviously this book was mentioned in the Harry Potter series, and there are some stories that were referenced throughout the series in it. There's the Wizard in the Hopping Pot, there's the Fountain of Fair Fortune, the Warlock's Hairy Heart, Babbity Rabbity and her Cackling Stump, and the Tale of the Three Brothers. A really, really great read that is really short. Highly recommend. Number 7 is 2 new favorite booktubers. I don't really subscribe to new booktubers that often. So I'm just gonna go with two of my favorite booktubers in general. I really like a book utopia who is Sasha Alsberg. She has written some books. She's written Zenith and Nexus, and she has a YouTube channel. She started out on YouTube and then she ended up becoming an author. I really enjoy all of her videos. We have a very similar taste in books, so it's always fun to hear her opinion on books. Another favorite booktuber of mine is Strange She Reads, who is a YouTuber who has, again, very similar taste in books with me, and she has a very fun way of editing her videos that I really enjoy. Number 8 is a book you've read twice. I have read Harry Potter and the Cursed Child parts 1 and 2 twice. I read it once when it came out, and then I read it again after I saw the play. Unpopular opinion alert, I really enjoyed this one. This one is one of my favorite books of all time. Everyone knows what Cursed Child is about. It is the continuation of Harry Potter that is written in a script format. It is a play. I recommend that you see the play instead of reading the script if you are considering getting involved in Cursed Child, and read the script after you see the play because that will improve your experience with this story. Number 9 is 2 fabulous quotes from books you've read recently. I don't really record quotes, so I'm gonna look some quotes up from books that I've read this year. I cannot tell you any quotes from ARCs because I think that's illegal to tell quotes from ARCs before the ARCs are released, I'm not sure. Okay, what are some books I read this year? The first quote I have is from the book Beautiful Creatures by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll, and that quote is, "The right thing and the easy thing are never the same." And the other quote that I'm gonna go with is from the Circuit du Freak series, which I have read a lot of those books this year. And that quote is, "Real life's nasty, it's cruel, it doesn't care about heroes and happy endings and the way things should be. In real life, bad things happen. People die, fights are lost, evil often wins." For me, quotes that I like are quotes that feel really I read them and I go truth, even if it's a hard truth to accept. If you were in church and you'd be like, amen, I agree with that. Quotes that make me go truth, what people say in church, are quotes that I pick out as favorites, I guess. So that was really all for this tag. You are supposed to tag people with the 10th question. I don't really tag people in my videos that often because I don't really get many views on my videos, so if I tag someone, would they even do the tag? But if you're watching this and you make book-related videos, feel free to do this tag and consider yourself tagged. Feel free to subscribe to me if you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up, follow my social media, do all that jazz, turn on the notification bell, and that's really all. I'll see all of you in my next video. Goodbye!